Hello everyone, I hope you are able to hear me. Welcome to today's session on Amazon Cloud Tutorial. So we will start the webinar. Meanwhile, people can still join in for today. And I hope you will have a lovely session today. So before we start, I would like to introduce myself first. Uh, I am Ajay. I take care of marketing for Shine Learning. So before we start and before I hand it over to today's trainer, who is Mr. Rohan, before that, I would just like to introduce Shine Learning to you. So moving to the next slide. So just a short description where I will be taking only 2 minutes. So Shine, talking about the heritage of Shine, Shine's presence is there in three places, that is print, radio, and online. So you must have everyone must have heard about the print media, that is the Hindustan Times, which is the second largest English daily newspaper. Secondly, its radio presence, that is in Fever 104 FM and the Desi Martini, and its online segment where we are present in that space, that is Shine.com, which is India's largest job portal, and secondly Shine Learning, which is one of the major largest professional courses and career skills portal. So if I talk about Shine Learning was launched by Shine.com itself, and it is one of the leading job portals in India and a group company of HT Media itself. And Shine, talking about the courses, those are hosted on Shine Learning. We have almost 500 plus courses which are there on Shine Learning platform. These all courses are hosted by uh, top-notch partners. And if I talk about the programs that they have, it caters to different categories, which includes all the tech courses, that is data science, cloud, DevOps, cyber security, going to finance domain where it covers IFRS, GST, then marketing, that is digital marketing, brand, and there are almost 500 plus different courses being offered on Shine Learning. And if I talk about how is Shine Learning different from others, then it has a very unique proposition. That is, it offers one of a kind platform that equips users with skills and also helps them find a job. Because Shine Learning not only provides the courses but also offers different kinds of job assistance services, and that is why it also has one of its vision, that is upskilling the Indian talent pool to adapt to the changing job market. So this was all about Shine Learning. So we will now proceed. I'll hand it over to Mr. Rohan, who is the trainer for the day. And if I talk about Mr. Rohan, he has almost 13 years of experience, extensive experience, and he is an expert in cloud DevOps. And I think the detailed description or the profile he himself will be introducing. So Mr. Rohan, all to yours to you. Hello. Uh, guys, just
Thanks a
hold
lot, Ajay,
on
for your
for
introduction.
sure.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me, Ajay?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mr. Ron. Yeah, Ron.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
so
you
much
can
for
go
the
ahead now.
introduction.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll just take over. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you.
Hey guys, what's up? good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, depending upon the place you're in right now. And welcome to the session where we'll have a discussion on the AWS or the Amazon Web Services. So my name is Ron Arora, and I'll be instructor for this session. So first of all, I would like to thank you for joining in. I know that you guys have taken out some time from your busy schedule to uh, just learn something new, and I commit that you'll earn something from this small session, even though it's just 1.5 hour session. But we'll learn something new over here. Uh, so before we get started, let me just take a look on to the list of people who have just joined in. And before we can get started with the session, I just want to explain you the rules of this game or the webinar. First of all, I'm the only one who can speak out. Okay, so all you guys are on the mute. So the students or the attendees that who have joined in, you are on the mute. But this does not mean that there's no way for you to put your questions or queries. On the GoToWebinar tool that you're using, there's a question window. That question window is intended for you to use to put your questions, your queries, or any feedback. Okay, so once I start moving to the slides and start showing the demo, okay, so you can use a question window to interact with me. Okay, so once you put the questions, your statement, your feedback in the question window, I read out the statement and to all of you and give you the answer. Okay, now please ask as many questions as you can, because even though it's a short session, but just try to make the maximum benefit out of it. Okay, I think we are getting some queries over here. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ganaya. Good afternoon to all of you. So guys, before we can get started, I can see that there are a lot of people joined in. One question to you is: any one of you are working on this platform, already working on this platform, or do you have some knowledge of it, or have you taken any of the courses before in this domain? Okay, Venkatesan, yeah, you have pretty much familiar with this platform. Okay. Rajesh is saying, was first of all, we want to know the basics required for this session. What are the basics required? Okay, so Rajesh, you want to for this session, you're talking about the prerequisite. Oh, we'll come to that. Sayed is saying, okay, I'm sorry. Venkat is saying your voice is not clear. Venkat, I'm not sure because other people are not complaining. So what I would suggest is that if the voice is not clear, you just need to see whether the audio source you're using is pretty much fine, or you can just check your internet connectivity. So if your internet connectivity is not up to the mark, in that case, you may face some audio issues. So please check your internet connectivity. Okay. So say the saying that this is the first course for me. Okay, can I hear saying in cloud? Say the saying I can hear properly. That's great to know. And Amit, you want to understand basics of the public and the public cloud? Sure, we'll do that. Upendra saying your voice is getting disturbance. I'm not sure, guys. Few of you may be facing some voice issues. The only fix is that either you check your internet connectivity, or if this after checking the internet connection it's not working, it is simple step. You can just if you're using Wi-Fi, you can change your location. That will help you. Okay, great. All right. So what I can assume is that most of you don't have any background in the AWS. So I just try to make use of the terminologies in a very simple way. Fine. So this is the agenda for this session. First of all, we're going to understand what is cloud computing, what are the service models, the deployment models, what is AWS, what is the AWS service model, AWS deployment model, how the resources in the Amazon cloud interact, and what are the different use cases. So these are the list of topics that we're going to be discussing one by one. Okay, we'll discuss each of these topics one by one. But the thing is that I'll not stress more on the PPT because it will sound monotonous and boring. So I just try to make sure that we can include an extensive demo session to help understand the relevance and the function of AWS and its components. Fine. So let's get started. So what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is a term which is being coined, which you can hear nowadays everywhere. Cloud computing, it's a booming technology. It's one of the hottest skill sets that is required nowadays. that's huge in demand. So what exactly cloud computing is? So let's understand the basic definition. It's a use of remote servers on the internet in order for you to store, manage, and process data rather than a local server or your personal computer. So the main purpose of the cloud computing is that any application, any service, any data that you're storing is not there in your local data center or on a local machine. Those things are being managed somewhere else on a hardware that you don't have access upon. So the thing is that basically you don't own the infrastructure that's being used to host your services, applications, and storing data. For example, Dropbox. I'm not sure if you guys have used Dropbox, or you may be using it. It's a very popular storage management service. You can make use of Dropbox to store your content, retrieve the contents from anywhere on the web. Same goes with Google Drive. So if you save something, some documents, some files, and some data onto the Google Drive, it's not being saved on your local computer. Of course, you get some option to also save a copy of that data on your local computer, but the main data is going onto the storage servers owned by Google, right? So that's the best example I can give you of the cloud computing. Now, if you see the day-to-day usage, most of the applications and services we are using nowadays, for example, Ola cabs, Uber cabs, Zomato, Swiggy, Redbus, Netflix, Amazon Prime Videos, YouTube. These are all cloud-based applications. How? If you use YouTube or Amazon Prime Video to see the videos, are those videos stored on your local hard drive? The answer is no. Those videos are being streamed from a server which is being placed in one of the data centers which you don't have any visibility upon. You don't have access to those servers, and you just stream the video from the servers. So these applications, whether using Ola cabs, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy, Netflix, Redbus, YouTube, Gmail, these are all the cloud-based applications. So cloud has become the integral part of our daily lives. Now, if you just go to a wider zone, cloud computing is now being adopted by the small to medium-sized organizations and even the big organizations. So nowadays, almost all the startup companies they leverage the power of the cloud computing, and if the big giants like General Electric they're also using the cloud computing. So the big organizations, the small to medium-sized enterprises, they're also using the cloud computing to get the benefits like cost effectiveness and flexibility. So these are three different models that we're going to be discussing one by one. One is the IaaS, that stands for Infrastructure as a Service, PaaS, that stands for Platform as a Service, and the next thing that we're going to be discussing is we will understand the SaaS, Software as a Service. Okay, so we're going to be discussing all of them one by one. Guys, one thing is that as I'm moving along, just put your questions. Once I'm through with a few of the topics and the slides, I just take the questions collectively. Fine? Sounds like a plan? Okay. So starting from the IaaS, that stands for Infrastructure as a Service. This is a concept which gives you the virtualized computing resources over the internet. You don't have to worry about the underlying physical machines, and this means that the physical components like CPU, RAM, storage, this is being offered to you as a service. Okay, so what you can do is that instead of running the physical machines in your data center, you can run some virtual machines, some virtual storage options on the cloud to leverage the infrastructure components as a service. So CPU, RAM, storage, these things are needed in every data center architecture. So IaaS means that you use these things to ensure that you leverage these components as a service, whether it's a computing, storage, or databases. Then we have PaaS, or the Platform as a Service. So Platform as a Service means that you want to establish a platform for the developers and the testing professionals so that they get a platform on the cloud that they will be using to develop and test their applications on the fly. Okay, so it's a platform for the developers upon which they can easily develop and test their applications. The best example I can give you is, for example, in the Amazon Web Services, we make use of a service called Elastic Beanstalk. It's called Elastic Beanstalk. It's a very good service. I'll show you that service, how it looks like. So we use Elastic Beanstalk as one of the components as a PaaS, or for example, in the Google Cloud, we use as Google Cloud Platform. Then we have software as a service, or SaaS. Now, the main purpose of the software as a service means that you get the end product as a user, as a consumer, you get the end product as a software. For example, Gmail. You make use of Gmail to send or receive the emails. But do you manage the email servers behind the scenes? The answer is no. So the software as a service means that your service provider set up everything for you, gives you an interface, and you start using the software as a service. You don't have any privilege or understanding that what's running behind the scenes. So any app that you're using on your iPhone or the Android phone, whether it's Ola, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Prime, Dropbox, Google Drive, Gmail, these are software as a service components. Because the thing is that through that software, you start using the services on the fly. You don't have to configure anything. It is just that you have to set up an account to get started. Okay, so the best example I've given you is Gmail. So you use Gmail to send or receive the emails without having an understanding that what are the email servers running behind the scenes, right? So software as a service means that you get the end product as a software, which you use that as a service. Fine. So these are three main components over here. So the thing is that your cloud provider will give you access to all these three different components. Fine. So let's move forward to the next slide. Okay. So this is my favorite one. This is also okay. There's also there was one request to explain this thing, the public cloud. So here we have. So after we understand the deployment models, the next thing that we have to understand is I would say the types of services. Now we discuss the deployment models. So there are three different deployment models that we understand: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Okay. So we will discuss each of these things one by one. And I also just try to give you some more examples for you to understand this in a much better way. So what is a public cloud, by the way? Public cloud means that it's a public platform. Anyone, you, me, or any individual or any organization is welcome to come in and start using that cloud platform. Okay. For example, AWS, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, Salesforce, DigitalOcean. These are the public cloud platforms. You, me, any organization can come in and start using it. It's a public cloud platform. Okay, so it is open for everyone. It is open for everyone. The major advantage that you get out of the public cloud is that it is easy and inexpensive to set up. The reason being, the hardware, application, and the bandwidth costs are being taken care by your cloud provider. So the hardware procurement, the application, services, bandwidth, everything is being managed by your cloud provider, be it the Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Salesforce, or any other cloud provider in the market. So public cloud means it's public in nature. Anyone can come in and start using it. Now comes the private cloud. Private cloud means that a company, either it sets up its own data center in a remote location, or it gets a portion of the data center by getting some rack space, and it start using that private cloud for its usage. So it's dedicated for an organization, or to an organization to be more precise. The concept of private cloud gives the companies direct control over their data. So you have so if a company sets up a private cloud, they have the entire access of upon it. They control it. Okay, but so the thing is that private cloud will give you more ownership, more access to the resources because you own it. Okay, so in that case, you have the privilege to keep the things private, more secure, and since you own that entire infrastructure, you manage it as per your own requirement. See, the problem is that if you go to the public cloud doesn't give you any kind of customization. Of course, you can customize it, but up to a certain level. But the private cloud will give you a sense of security, customization, and the thing, of course, if you set up the private cloud, your own data center, I would say that you have to spend a lot, because setting up a data center means that you have to spend a lot of money to procure the hardware, to set up a data center, get the space. Um, you have to take care of the cooling, air conditioners, backups, everything. Fine. So that's the concept of the public and the private cloud. Now, in the middle of that, the next thing that comes in is a hybrid cloud. Now, this is very interesting. Hybrid cloud is the amalgamation, or it's a mix and match, or it's a cocktail of the public and the private cloud. You mix and match both these two different clouds in such a way that you get the benefit of both of them. You leverage the best of both worlds. Okay, so you use the public and the private cloud both at the same time. That's the main concept. Okay, so let's understand that. I just draw a sketch for you so that you understand that in a much better way. So I've just connected my iPad with my computer. So I just sketch it for you so that you understand this concept properly. So let's imagine. You just give me 1 second over here. All right. So let's assume that. Okay, I think. Let's just give me 1 second over here. You need to give me 1 second. This got disconnected. Just allow me a few seconds over here. I need to just reconnect the device. So the main purpose is that I just want to make you understand exactly that how the stuff works for you, because this concept is very important. Because in your day-to-day environment, it's extremely important that you understand the relevance of the different cloud platforms, because in most of the cases, you'll be using the hybrid cloud platform. In most of the cases, you'll be using the hybrid cloud platform. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. So right now, let's just sketch it right now. So let's imagine that this is my branch office. This is my main corporate office, right? This is my main office. And what I do is that I can set up my own data center, a remote data center over here. So I would say that, okay, this is my remote DC. This is my remote DC or data center. Fine. Now I set up a lease line between these two different infrastructures. So from my branch office, the employees in my organization can access the applications running upon the servers running in the remote data center. Now this concept is called the private cloud. Right? I can have one more office over here. This is my one more office. This is a branch office. And they also connect to the private cloud. the remote data center. So this is centralized in nature. I have different offices in different locations, and they all these are connected to a remote data center. This can be the one of the examples of the private cloud that you use in the industry. Okay, but let's imagine one thing. Yeah, so let's imagine one thing, that let's imagine that you also set up a public cloud, for example, the AWS, the Amazon Web Services. So you, instead of using, or apart from using, I would say that, apart from using the private cloud, you also want to use a public cloud. So you use Amazon Web Services, you choose it, and you connect from your offices or from your office to the public cloud, because AWS, if you're using AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, these are the public clouds, right? Now, if you adjoin or you use both the public and the private clouds at the same time, it becomes hybrid. It becomes hybrid. If you use both the public and private cloud at the same time, what becomes? It becomes hybrid. So this is, let me just, yeah. So this is my public, fine. And this is my private. So just highlight it for you. So this is my public cloud. This is my private cloud. I'm using both at the same time. So this combination, this cocktail of both the clouds becomes the hybrid, right? I'm using best of both the worlds. So the example can be that my employees sitting in my offices will be using this remote data center to access my in-house applications. For example, Active Directory, Exchange servers. And in AWS, which is my public cloud, I'll be hosting my public websites. Okay, so this is one of the best examples I can give you to showcase that how exactly the hybrid cloud looks like. You use both the public and the private clouds both at the same time. Fine. So guys, any questions you have, we can just take the questions real quick. Mohammed is saying, do you provide any recording? Yes, Mohammed, the thing is that once the session gets over, you get access to some of the contents, and you also get access to the recorded session. You will get that. So Devasis is saying prerequisites for AWS. So Devasis, there's no any hard and fast prerequisite to get started with AWS. The only thing that is expected is that if you have at least 6 months of experience in IT or any software domain. I repeat myself, there's no any specific prerequisite, but if you have at least 6 months of experience in the IT and software domain, it will help you to understand the concepts in a much better way. Fine. So Devasis, but data security is a concern. So Devasis, the thing is that now the cloud platform has become so robust and widely acceptable that security is not a big concern. The reason being because your cloud service provider will also ensure that they have enough infrastructure to safeguard your data and your components, and also your cloud provider will give you access to different tools. For example, let me just write it down if I can show you. So regarding the security, if I talk about specifically about AWS, so let's talk about AWS. So if I talk about security on AWS, there are different tools we use over here. For example, we use security groups. Now, security group is a virtual firewall. It's a virtual firewall that we apply to the virtual machines. That we apply to the, sorry for the bad handwriting. So we apply that to the, just write down again. So we apply this to the virtual machine. Security group is a kind of, you can say, a firewall that we apply to the virtual machine. The second thing we make use of is the access control list. This is a firewall that we apply to the subnet. It's a group of servers. Okay, so these are the firewalls. Apart from that, apart from these two different firewalls, we also make use of one more firewall, that is the web application firewall. We call it as WAF, web application firewall. So they give you access to different tools and services to secure your infrastructure. Apart from that, you make use of IAM, identity and access management. Identity and access management to set up your policies for the users, groups, and roles to secure your services. Okay, so security is not a big concern now because the cloud provider is equipped with a lot of resources to safeguard your components and the services and the data. And also you have the plethora of different services and firewalls to secure your infrastructure. But you should know how to use that. So that's the intent of the course, to help you understand different tools and services to secure your infrastructure. That's the main intent of this course. As this is one of the purposes why we understand AWS and its services. Okay, I should take some more questions over here. So those things, how can you show that compliances with asked data center doesn't cross the base country? So Santosh, the compliances are based upon the organization, right? So you have to ensure that if you're using AWS, you have to use in such a way that you adhere or you comply with the security requirements or the compliance requirements. Abhishek, the PAS is not an operating system; it's a concept. Ronistic is saying, isn't it security for the cloud? So I've already given the answer. Of course, we have a lot of security. Is there a difference, Rakesh Singh, is there a difference in underlying technology for the public and private cloud? No. The underlying technology for the public and private cloud is the same. The underlying technology for the public and private cloud is the same. Rakesh is saying, what about the community cloud? So, yes, I just try to take the questions, as much questions as I can. I'll be really apologize if I can't take all the questions. Just try to take as many questions as I can. Okay, so Rakesh, community cloud is a different concept which is not widely used. The community cloud means that different communities, whether it's a group of people or the organization, they come together, they share their resources to make a community cloud. For example, Microsoft, Virgin Group, or different companies, they come together, they want to increase the awareness about the global warming. So they come together, they build some shared in-house applications and the websites to do some research on this global warming problem. So different companies, they want to work on the same problem, even though those are different organizations like Microsoft, Virgin Group, SpaceX, Facebook. They want to come together as a community and they want to work on to solve the problem of global warming. So they share the resources, they host some application services to do some research on this topic. So that's the best example of the community cloud. Now, this concept is not used very often. That's why it's not included in the slide. Fine. So Rajesh is saying, any other use case of the hybrid cloud in the market? The other use case can be, Rajesh, that you already have your data center, and now you don't want to further invest in setting up your data centers. So then you also switch over to the public cloud. Amit is saying, can you please explain the difference between PAS and SAS and advantage of PAS? So Amit, PAS means that it is a kind of a platform for the developers to start developing and test their applications upon. So let me just show you on over here. So PAS, see, the thing is that your developers need some platform to develop and test their applications. Instead of doing that on the local servers, they can do that on the cloud. Now, the best example of PAS I can give you is the Elastic Beanstalk. This is used in AWS. In the Google Cloud Platform or GCP, we use Google Engine. So this mainly targets the developers so that they get a platform to quickly develop and test their applications on the fly. Simple, fine. So this mainly targets the developers, fine, and the testing professionals. Now, the next thing that we have is the software as a service. See, this is mainly, this focuses upon the end product, right? For example, Gmail, YouTube. These are the end products that you can download as applications. You just use an account to sign up and start using the services. So I give an example using Gmail to send you or receive the emails without even wondering that what's running behind the scenes. You don't manage any of the email servers running behind the scenes. Who manages them? Google. So Google, they're giving you Gmail as a software as a service. Use that to send and receive the emails. Fine. Or Dropbox, Google Drive. These are the softwares. You download that on your machines. You set up the account, sign up, and start using them. The servers running behind the scenes, the data is being stored somewhere else, not on your local machines. Fine. I hope that you get the difference now. Naki is saying private cloud. Naki, if your company is using a data center, it's the best example of the private cloud. Ramesh saying hybrid cloud need more clear. So Ramesh, I've sketched the hybrid cloud. So that's the farthest way I can go to. So hybrid cloud is a simple concept. So if I show you the drawing right now, just go back. It's a simple combination of the public and private cloud. Your company is using both. That's the only thing I think this I can't be more clear on that. The company uses the public and private cloud both at the same time. They use private cloud to run some of their in-house applications and services, and they use the public cloud to host the public websites. Okay. Rajshekar, regarding the security in the cloud, I already discussed about that. Mohammed saying, how do I know is that my company is using cloud? You have to ask your IT team for that. Tulasi, I'm saying, which scripting is most helpful in the cloud environment? Any kind of scripting, Bash, Python, Perl scripting, any of them will help you. I think so. Hybrid cloud has possible to local office locations to direct connect to public cloud AWS. It kind of the right statement. So the one that I've explained you, somewhere it complies with that. Sharik is saying, how do we connect the private and public data center? What would be the connectivity medium? So the connectivity medium can be internet, VPN, or a lease line. Rishikesh is saying, in hybrid cloud, my private cloud and public will go to the AWS cloud. I use AWS services, right? So AWS is a public cloud. And to the public cloud, you're going to be using the AWS services. Ashok is saying, can we restrict the GeoIP for any country by security group? No, security group is not meant for that. It filters the traffic based upon the IP addresses, protocols, and the sources, but not by the country. We can't do that. I'm just saying, do we need to have knowledge of networking concepts? There's some knowledge needed, but we're gonna give that in the session itself, in the course. Rajesh is saying, please answer my question. Rajesh, I think I've answered all the questions. I'm sorry if I skipped all because there are a lot of questions coming in. So Mohammed, yes, networking concept, you don't have to be strong. Jagan saying, it must be enable ACN security list simultaneously. Yes, you have to do that. Ankur was saying, please take the session more of an infrastructure side instead, so that we can relate it to instead of examples like Google. So, Arun Kumar, the thing is that I'm not sure what exactly your main intent is, but this is mainly on the infrastructure side. Okay, so as we move forward, we'll discuss all those examples. Okay, so guys, let's move forward now because we don't have that much of time to discuss more on this topic. So let's move forward now. So what is AWS? So here we are, the main thing, because the concept that we discussed so far, those are very basic concepts. We can go on and discuss more about it. But this is the main topic of this day, of this session, is that AWS, because we all are here to understand this main cloud provider. So AWS stands for Amazon Web Services, which is a secure cloud services platform which offers you compute power, database storage, content delivery, and other functionality to help your businesses scale and grow. Basically, the AWS, or the Amazon Web Services, is a cloud services platform which was established in 2006. It's a subsidiary company of the Amazon.com, which you all know is an e-commerce platform, which is owned by Jeff Bezos, which is now the richest person on this planet. And let's have a broader look on the service model. So these are the things that so of course AWS is not a private cloud. Private cloud is a mean that you own the entire infrastructure. So AWS becomes the part of the public cloud and the hybrid cloud. Fine. So let's have that how AWS fits into all these deployment models: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So AWS is an infrastructure as a service provider because it will give you the infrastructure in the form of the services. The best example that I can give you is the EC2. Okay, so what is IaaS? Can someone help me to remind me what is IaaS? Because I have a very short memory. So guys, my question to you is that what is IaaS? We just had discussed 2 or 3 slides before. What is IaaS? Not the full form. What exactly it gives you? Just a quick question to you. So Raj is saying infrastructure as a service. Yes, but what it gives? Hardware support. Venkateshwaran, it provides infrastructure. Yes, Abhishek, that's right. Sharing the hardware resources, it provides infrastructure. Okay, so we don't need to maintain the hardware. Kanaya is saying, okay, Tabasys has given the exact answer I was looking for. It gives you the infrastructure components like RAM, hard disk. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Sandeep, it gives infrastructure like compute, network storage. Very good, Sandeep. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so guys, IaaS means that you get the infrastructure components, including compute, which means RAM, CPU, some kind of computing power, storage, right? This is the infrastructure as a service. Now, the thing is that how AWS fits into the IaaS. Let's understand that. We use EC2 as a service. Now, what is EC2? Let me explain that to you real quick. So the EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. So let's write down. Elastic Compute Cloud. Now, this means that, so if I just try to break it in a very simple way, because I don't want to get into a lot of technical depth. So let's imagine this is my AWS cloud, and this is my virtual machine. This is my virtual machine. Okay, so I hope that we understand the term virtual. Anything which is not physical that we can't access, it's a virtual machine. Of course, this virtual machine is running on a physical machine. This is a virtual machine which will give you some amount of RAM. For example, it can give you 1 gig of RAM. It can give you one virtual CPU. Uh, it can give you, for example, 20 gig of SSD storage. Okay, so this is a small virtual machine which gives you a lot of a small amount of RAM, CPU, and the storage. This is the part of the computing. Fine. So this comes under IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Fine, you got the point. Let's take one more example. We use a service called S3, that stands for Simple Storage Service. Now, what happens over here is that we take a bucket. This is called S3 bucket. It's an this is a kind of say it's an object-oriented storage. It works like the Dropbox or Google Drive. You can put a piece of data into that. For example, it can be a photo, a video, anything. Fine. So this is my bucket. What is this? This is my bucket. So simple storage service will help. This is a storage service. You don't have to buy any storage hardware, and you start using it to put in your stuff. You can put in unlimited amount of data, any amount of data. There's no restriction. Okay, I can just give him one example. So this is my cloud. This is my AWS cloud, and I want to make it public. So the thing is that I want this AWS cloud to interact with internet. Fine. So what I do is that I make use of a gateway. So that gateway is called internet gateway. So this is a virtual router. I call it as an internet gateway. This is a virtual router, a virtual gateway. This is a virtual gateway that will help my AWS cloud to connect to the internet. So if this is my machine, I want it to download some patches from the internet. It has to go through the internet gateway. So this internet gateway, it is an IaaS component, infrastructure as a service. Okay, these are some of the examples I'm giving you. So the virtual server, the internet gateway, which helps the cloud to connect to the internet, the simple storage service, the S3 buckets, these are the infrastructure as these service components. Got the point? So anything that gives you compute, storage, like in the form of RAM, CPU, you get the amount of storage, you can put the content, anything that's giving you some kind of hardware resources as a service is an infrastructure as a service. Fine. Then we have the PaaS. It allows you to focus on the deployment and the management of your application. For example, in AWS, we have the Elastic Beanstalk. It's purely used by the developers as a platform for them to quickly test and deploy their applications on the fly. Then we have the software as a service. For example, in AWS, we have a marketplace from where you can buy the softwares. Okay. Now, how do services interact in the cloud? So this is how the services interact. If you understand this thing, the main component that is the critical resource or the critical component in AWS is called the VPC or the virtual private cloud. It's a clustering of different resources. Okay, let me just do one thing. Let me just make it simple. I don't want to just go with the slides right now. So the thing is that, guys, this is very important. This is very, very important. Let me just help you understand that how exactly the AWS works. If you understand this concept, believe me, 20% of the AWS, you will be able to get the 20% of the essence of the AWS. So please pay attention. This is very important. See, what happens is, in AWS, we make use of a concept called VPC. That stands for Virtual Private Cloud. Now, the thing is that this is quite contradictory, private cloud, because this is not what AWS is. What is AWS? It's a public cloud. So how come we use the virtual private cloud in AWS? Because that private cloud is not exactly the private cloud, it is virtual in nature. Basically, what we do is that we tend to construct a virtual data center. Okay, we tend to construct a virtual data center. Now, how it works for us, I just give you a very small example. So what happens over is that we pick a VPC, we construct a VPC. For example, this is my VPC in a region, let's suppose Mumbai. Fine. Now in this VPC, we have different subnets. So this VPC will have a CIDR range. For example, 10.0.0.0/16. Out of this, from this VPC, we will carve out different subnets. For example, this is my subnet A, and this is my subnet B. And each of these subnets will have separate IP addresses. For example, it will have the IP address range 10.0.1.0/24, 10.0.2.0/24. Fine. Now, I don't want to deep dive in because we don't have that much of time. We're just doing the subnetting. But right now, the main concept we have to understand is that we have a VPC, which is a virtual cloud, which consists of different subnets. We deploy, so the thing is that we'll pick one subnet as public and another subnet as private. In the public subnet, we deploy the web servers. What will deploy? The web servers, the web apps. And in the private subnet, we will deploy databases, DBs, databases. Okay. So the public subnet will keep, we just deploy those resources that we tend to keep public, and in the private subnet we'll keep those things which we tend to keep private. For example, the databases. And what we do is that we want this cloud to interact. We want these servers in the public subnet to access the internet. What we do is that we use internet, or we use make use of the internet gateway. This is IGW, the Snapchat Internet Gateway, that acts as the point of interconnection for the resource in the public subnet to access the resources on the internet. Fine. And internally, there's a internal communication. So this is a part of I would say a clustering part. So this is the main component that's called VPC. I'm just write it down again. This is my VPC of the virtual private cloud. This is the main component over here. So you cluster all the resources together in a single cloud. You have the public resources running in the public subnet. You have the private resources running in the private subnet. For example, the databases. So this is the essence or the crux of the AWS. Now the thing is that once you start learning the codes and the topics, this is a very big topic. We have to design this entire thing. There's a lot of designing that goes into the part. We can also include, for example, some resources like load balancers, auto scaling groups. So we can also make use of ELB, elastic load balancer, plus auto scaling. I'll come to those components later on. We can also include that as part of the VPC. Fine. That's how it looks like. This is a part of networking. So in the architecture, of course, some networking is included. Not some, but a lot of the networking concepts are included in this curriculum. Fine. Okay. So let's move forward. Now, I think we have some questions over here before we can just go to the demo. Internet as a service. Yeah, you can see that. Raja saying relationship between EC2 and IaaS. So Raja, the EC2 will give you compute. It's a compute service which gives you amount of RAM and CPU. So that's a concept of IaaS. I'm sorry, I'm not able to see all the questions. Okay, so Raja is saying, what's the relationship? Okay, I'm sorry. Raja is saying that Raja Majumdar, what's the best cloud service in terms of costing, security, and how it's proved? AWS. Because if you see the Gartner report, if you just go to if you just browse for it, let me show you that right now. I'm sorry, hang on one second. If you just go to Google and report on cloud computing, you will see that AWS is the leader from the past 4 or 5 years. So AWS is the leader. I don't have the exact chart over here because I have to find it out. But if you see the publication and reports on the cloud computing platform, yeah, this is the one. I think this is the one. So if you see the magic quadrant of Gartner, AWS is the biggest player. Okay, so if you're asking something, I'll give you some proof of that. So if you just see this entire report, you will see that AWS is the leader in the industry. This is the diagram. I think so. Yeah, this is the one. So if you see this right now, AWS is on the top of the list. So followed by Microsoft and Google. So if you see that the leaders in the Magic Quadrant, I think this belongs to June 2017. Even in 2018 of June, this is the same picture. Okay, so if you see the reports, the Gartner report and other reports, Amazon Web Services is the best in terms of security, costing, and other features, of course. Fine. Okay, so I'm saying, can I customize EC2 as per my requirement? Yes, you can. Marvel saying S3 is like SAN or any other storage. You can say that. Rajesh saying EC2 is not clear. Please brief. Rajesh, we will just about to start with the demo session. I'll show you the EC2. Rajesh saying Beanstalk Marketplace is still the feature of AWS only, not in the private cloud. Yes, these are the features of AWS. Can I saying I want to migrate all the servers from physical server to cloud? How can I do this? Can I? The thing is that it's a very big process that you have to follow. Okay, so there's a process that you have to follow to actually. The thing is that either you can just go with the forklift method. This means that you rip off the entire data center and go to the cloud at once, which is not safe. It's called forklift method, or you go stage by stages. So there's an entire process that goes into that. Manish is saying, what makes a private subnet private in AWS? So Manish, if any subnet is completely disconnected from the internet, is a private subnet. Okay. Anish saying, do we need to have more noise on servers and internet? No. Only very small knowledge. If you have that, you can get started with AWS. Yes, Amit, VPC is a part of AWS architecture. Devis is saying everything you said now is going over the head. Like, yeah, Devis, I can understand that. The thing is that we don't expect that you become expert in this 1.5 hour session. Of course, once you enroll to the exact course, then we start from scratch and go a little bit slow. Okay. Rajesh Singh, some be having database will not be accessed on the internet. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. So it's time for the demo right now, because demo is because I don't want to just go with the slides right now. The thing is that we go on with the demo. The demo will go as that we'll deploy a small web server on the internet, on the AWS, I'm sorry. So we'll deploy a small web server over here. Will not take that much of time. So if I just go to the, so what we'll deploy. So what we'll do is we already have a VPC, a virtual private cloud. sorry, we already take a VPC, okay, and that VPC will be in Mumbai. So what we'll do is that, okay, let me just, so what we'll do is that we'll have two different subnets. This is my subnet A, that will belong to one of my data center, AZA, and subnet B that belongs to AZB, right? We'll have the duplicate web service running in both the subnets. We'll have a load balancer on the top of them. Now, load balancer is a service that it will take the end traffic from the user and distribute that traffic to a group of instances running in different subnets. Okay, so I installed the Apache application, Apache web server upon both the instances, right? So I have a domain on AWS. So for example, if I have a domain xyz.com, it will just hit the load balancer, and the load balancer will distribute that traffic evenly across all the instances running in both the subnets of my VPC. So it's a very small session. I cannot deep dive into all the things right now, because if you see the duration of the session, it's not that much big, because it's not a course right now. I just want to give you an overview. So it's a very small session. We'll deploy two EC2 instances, instance A and instance B, in two different subnets. We'll have a load balancer on the top of them, and we will just do the DNS resolution in such a way that if a user types in xyz.com, it hits the load balancer in my VPC, and from there the load balancer will distribute the traffic to a group of instances running in different subnets. Fine. Okay. Can you think, Ron, can you suggest me where I can go to take the training for AWS Architect Associate? So can I hear the thing is that after we're done with the demo, before I take the questions, well, I'll just give you an overview that how you can just enroll for the course. I'm saying, can I customize this to a specific requirement? Yes, you can. How to do auto deployment? So Jamil, to do the auto deployment, you make use of the services like auto scaling, Beanstalk, CloudFormation. Okay, make use of the service. Karthik is saying, what's the difference between the elastic load balancer versus load balancer? Same thing. In AWS, a load balancer is called elastic load balancer because it is elastic in nature. It is the same thing in AWS. Okay, so guys, we can start with the demo. So I hope that you get the crux of the demo that I'll be showing you right now. We'll have a VPC. This is my virtual private cloud. We'll have a load balancer sitting on the top of the two different subnets consisting of two different instances upon which I'll deploy the Apache web servers. And we'll just set up this entire small environment. Okay. So what I will do is I shoot back to my AWS management console. So let me show you that how it looks like. You have to go to the website aws.amazon.com. So this is a wonderful website. You can sign up for AWS for free of cost for 12 months. I will just mention the link in the chat window. You can just have a look on that. So so that in your free time, you can also sign up for a free account. Okay. So this is a website, or this is a web portal that you will be using to deploy your services on the cloud. Okay, so I will be signing in right now, and let's do that. So let me sign in. So you can excuse me for a few seconds. I need to just put my credentials to sign in. Here we go. So this entire page that I can see right now, this page is called AWS Management Console. What is called? It's called AWS Management Console. This is the beautiful web page that you can use to access more than 100 services being offered by AWS. You can see a list of more than 100 services. Okay, but you'll not be using all of them. So you have to give me a few seconds over here. I need to just confirm and verify that I have the domain active before we can start with the lab session. Okay, I already have the domain. Fine. Okay, so first of all, what I will do is I will deploy two different EC2 instances or the web servers in two different subnets or data centers. Okay, before I can get started, on the right hand side, if you see my screen right now, let me just show up right now. So if you see my screen, these are all the regions. Now these are the data centers. I'm sorry, not the data centers. These are the geographical locations where the Amazon Web Services, they claim to have their data centers. These are different geographical locations, or these are the pieces of land. These are the areas where they claim to have a presence. They have the data centers located in these regions, right? So as of now, there are almost 20 regions they're managing, and each region is a piece of land. It's a geographical location which consists of a cluster of data centers. Fine. Right now, I'll be deploying my resources in Mumbai region. I'll be using two Mumbai data centers. Fine. Why I'm using it? Because it's close to my location. I'm in Delhi, India, so it is close to my location. So I'll be using this one. So if you compare Mumbai with other locations, Mumbai is nearest to Delhi. Fine. So that's why I'm going to be using this one. So let's go to so these are different categories of services. These are different categories of services. So the very first service I'll go to is the compute. Under the compute, I go to EC2, which will help you to deploy the virtual servers in the cloud. What is this? This is the EC2, which will help you to deploy the virtual servers in the cloud. So I go to this EC2 compute service right now. And as I said before, we'll be deploying two different services. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going into depth to explain you every step, but whichever step I think it's important, I will explain you. Now, in this Mumbai as the region, we have these two different data centers, AP South 1A and AP South 1B. Fine. I click on launch instance right now, and I just pick one image. Now, one image consists of the operating system, services, and applications that are packaged in a single software package or the image. It's a package that consists of the software, images bundled together. So I'll just pick my Amazon Linux AMI. This is the operating system I'll be using to deploy my instance or my virtual machine. So I click on select right now. Let me see if I have my own image. I don't have that. I'm sorry. So I choose this pre-configured image, the operating system of my instance. Click on select. Now this is the hardware specification. I'll be using T2.micro as my instance type. Now this is the hardware specification, which gives me one virtual CPU and a 2.5 gigahertz processor and 1 gig of RAM. So I click on next configure instance details. Now these are some of the specifications that I can just go through. These are some details. For example, the VPC, the subnets. For example, I'll pick this subnet 30612758, which belongs to the data center AP South 1A. Fine. If I pick this subnet CFFB4C83, this means that I will be deploying my resources in a data center that's AP South 1B in Mumbai. So I'll go with AP South 1A. So I'll just pick the subnet that belongs to the AP South 1A data center. Fine. Now under advanced details, I'll run some bootstrap script so that once this instance gets launched, once this virtual machine gets launched, it automatically runs this script to install the Apache application upon it. So there's a script I'll be using right now. you have to excuse me for a second. I'm gonna just pull that script from my resources. Just give me 1 second over here. Okay, so this is a script I'll be using. I just copy this this Apache script, just copy it, and I paste that over here. Now I can just type in the text that will be displayed on the web page. Just type in this is mobile web server array. Fine. So this text it will display afterwards. This is mobile web server array. This is the Apache. This is install the Apache application upon the instance. This is a small bash script that will be running upon the instance when it will be running. Fine. I click on next add storage, next add tags. I can add a tag to it. As I said before, I'll not be able to go into details right now. So just give an overview of this deployment. I click on next configure security group. Now this is the firewall stuff that we'll be using. So let's name it as lab S3. So this is the firewall I'll be using, and the main thing I'll be doing is that I will allow the SSH from my IP so that I can get the root access to my server from my end, and HTTP traffic from anywhere so that any person can access the website that I'll be launching upon these servers. The VM launch. This is the key pair to authenticate. Click on launch instances. Done. Okay. Now, in the meantime, I just launched a duplicate instance with the same image, same instance type, in a different data center this time, that is AP South 1B. Go to advanced details. I use the same script. Okay, let's do that. Okay. So I just copy the same script, paste it, let's type in this is Mumbai web server B. Fine. So I click on next add storage, next add tags. I can add a tag value to it so that we can recognize this instance in the future. And I'm sorry, I think I by mistake discarded the page. I'll start again. So I choose instance subnet B, go to advanced details, paste the script, let's type in this is Mumbai server B. I click on next add storage, next add tags. We're gonna add this tag again. So I messed up when I was just typing the tag before. So I'll be pretty much careful this time. I click on next configure security group. Now I just apply the same firewall that applied to the previous instance, that is lab-sg. This is a virtual firewall that restricts the incoming and the outgoing traffic with respect to a server. So I'm going to launch it right now. Fine. So I've launched 2 healthy servers in 2 different data centers in Mumbai. So these are 2 different servers that I'm just running. Now, in the meantime, I just go to the load balancer, which will sit on the top of these instances. I create a classic load balancer. So basically, AWS proposes, or it offers 3 different types of load balancers that you can be using in 3 different scenarios. So I'll be using the classic one, and let's name it as lab-elb, and that's it. I just include both the subnets as a part of the load balancer, and I just assign the same firewall to it that is lab-sg. Let's do that. I just configure the security settings, configure the health check. We don't have to change anything over here. And instances, we gonna be adding both instances as a part of the load balancer. Next, add tags. We can create. Fine. So as of now, we have just created a load balancer that will sit on the top of these two virtual servers running in two different data centers. Okay. So as of now, these two different instances are in the process of getting registered to the load balancer. So these instances will register themselves to the load balancer, and we'll see them in service in the next few seconds, because that's the main intent, so that we can ensure that these instances are healthy. Okay, so we have to wait for a few seconds before we can see some output. So these instances are still showing out of service. We have to investigate why it's not doing so. You just give me a few seconds over here, because sometimes it runs crazy. We have to understand what exactly is going on. Because if I just go to the instances right now and let's try to check its public IP, I should be able to get some output. There we go. So I just need to ensure that before I can proceed further, the load balancer should, okay, here we go. So we have both instances showing in service. It's a good sign. This means that these two different virtual servers, or the EC2 instances, are successfully the part of the load balancer now. Now let's do one thing. Let's go to the services. The next service I'll be using would be Route 53, which is a DNS service. Now DNS stands for domain name service. I be using this one to map my load balancer with my own domain. I go to Route 53, the service, and I go to the hosted zones. I go to my domain, and let's do one thing. I create a record set. So I'm gonna be just deleting the previous record set, which is not needed right now. I create a new record set where I would specify explicitly that if someone types in my domain learn AWS the hardware.n, go ahead and just divert the traffic to this load balancer. So let me show you that again. So I'm saying, if you focus right now, I'm saying that if someone types in learn AWS the hardware.n, that's my domain, the entire traffic should be routed to this load balancer that I just have deployed. Okay, I click create. Done. This completes the entire process of the deployment. Now, if you guys just try to access my domain, I just give a shot right now. Okay, so guys, what I'm doing is that I am copying and pasting a link for you. Just click on that link and just let me know if you're able to get access to the website. Please do that real quick. In the meantime, I'm just turning on my Wi-Fi to change my internet connectivity, because based upon your internet connection, it may take some time for the output to show up. So let me give a shot right now. So guys, are you getting some output right now? Just give me, yeah. So just hit refresh a few times. Hit refresh. Hit refresh. In the meantime, I just disconnect my previous connectivity so that I can try a new one. I have a load balancer, just taking the traffic and routing the traffic to a group of servers, two servers in different data centers. Okay, and if hit refresh, each refresh means that I'm initiating a new request to the load balancer, and the load balancer is taking it forward and diverting the traffic to another instance. So I suppose that you all are getting the same page or the same output. Yes, Rakesh, it works on the round robin algorithm. You got it? So guys, it's a very small prototype. Unfortunately, I was not able to go into the details of the configuration because the time doesn't allow us that. But I would love to discuss with you in the future if we have the opportunity to come on a platform, and we can just go through an extensive 30-hour course and understand all these concepts. But this gives you a look and feel that what exactly AWS is. The power, the magic of cloud computing is all here. I didn't have to procure any servers, get any software licenses to set up this thing. So this small prototype, you can deploy extensive web and databases applications without investing a lot of time and effort. You don't have to spend any buck on that. You don't have to spend a huge amount on setting up this infrastructure. No hardware, no routers, no switches, no servers, nothing. Everything is virtual. It's there on the plate. It is just that you have to just understand how exactly to use these services. It's not a rocket science. Believe me, if you understand cloud computing, it's not a rocket science. It is just that you need some guidance for you to understand different services and their functionalities and how you use all the services on a single platform. Okay. Yeah, so it will change that. So those if it's a web, it's saying web page blocked. You can just try some other browser if you have that. Manish is saying both the servers are not in sync. How we can sync them? They are in sync, Manish. So say, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by sync. They both are in sync, but you can connect these servers to a single database server behind the scenes if you want that. Rakesh, serverless computing is a concept. This means that you as an architect, you don't have to manage the servers. Lambda is one of the features being offered by AWS, which is a serverless computing infrastructure. Karthik is saying, what about data encryption? Okay, so guys, yeah, so data encryption is we use the service called KMS. That stands for Key Management Service, which helps us for the data encryption. Okay, so guys, I'll take your questions right now. So this is what we have discussed so far. You just give me a few seconds over here. So I just want to wrap up. I'll take the questions right now. I'll not go away. This is what we have discussed so far. We discussed the cloud computing, service models, deployment models, AWS service model. We had a demo, and I hoped that you liked the demo. And now I just have Ajay to take over, just give you some glimpse on the machine learning advantages, and then after that I'll take the questions. So Ajay, yeah, you're welcome. Ajay, you can take over now.
Sure. We can move to the next slide, Rohan. So it was very interactive session. I hope everyone loved it. And yeah, so overall, if I talk about the number of questions which were asked, Rohan, I think almost you have taken 70 plus questions today. That was a
Yeah,
very wonderful thing.
thank you.
So anyways, so we'll move on now. So guys, in this overall AWS architect training certification, this is the curriculum that if you want to move ahead with a cloud course that is in AWS, then this is the curriculum that will be followed during the training session. And the fees for this is 19,995 plus GST, and the overall it becomes 23,594. And the benefits that you get with this training session is there in the next slide. Rohan, can you change the slide? Yeah. So the benefits is there will be a 24/7 expert support service. So in case you have any queries, any doubts, or any issues also, then you can take help from the support team, which is available 24/7. minded guys. So even if you approach them at midnight, then also it will be there will be someone who will be answering to your queries. Secondly, the so it is a completely instructor-led interactive sessions where an instructor like Rohan or someone else will be taking up the sessions and will be answering all the queries and will also be explaining you the courses as well. Thirdly, so the approach that is taken in the certification training is basically the project or the case study based. So you will be given case studies and you will be taking a couple of projects also during the training session, which will give you a hands-on experience. Apart from that, you get a lifetime access. This lifetime access basically gives you a freedom that yes, you can learn right now also. If there is any update in the course content later on, then definitely that course content update is also passed on to your login. And yes, after 6 months or maybe 1 year or 2 years also, you can go and refer to that notes and it will be as it is. Lastly, the class recordings. So in case if you have missed out the classes also, then also what you can do is you can directly the links, recorded links will be shared in the login itself, and you can go through the recording sessions. These are the advantages of taking the course. Apart from that, so there are two more advantages which Shine will be extending. That is the job assistance services. So we do, since I think I had mentioned in the very first, before the beginning of the webinar itself, that yes, we have the advantage where we help the candidates in building a good resume, which increases the chances of basically getting interview calls also, because the services are like resume building or LinkedIn profile summary. And apart from that, if you take up the course, then you will also get 10% cashback as well. So in that next slide, you will see the exact proposition, what exactly you will be getting in the training certification. Rohan, next slide, please.
Yeah, I've already gone to the slide.
Yeah. So this certification training, if you take it up today itself, there's a on-spot registration benefit that you get is, so the fees that was highlighted in the first slide was 20,000 plus GST, which was, so here you will be getting flat 25% off on 19,995. There will be a flat 25% off. So the fees will be 15,000 plus GST. So I'm repeating again, the fees for this training will be 15,000 plus GST, which is equivalent to 17,700. On top of that, you also get free resume writing, free featured profile. Free featured profile is a service basically where your resume gets highlighted on shine.com. Thirdly, free resume booster, and lastly, 10% cashback as well. So the fees, since the fees of this course is 17,700, you get 1,770 rupees as a cashback again, which you can utilize it for any purchase on shine.com, any kind of services, any courses. Since it already has 500 plus courses, you can buy any courses from there. And here you can see the contact person details also. So in case you need any help, then you can contact this person, Mr. Raju Giri. The email ID is mentioned and the phone number is also there. You can reach out to us at any given point of. Next slide, please, Rohan. Rohan, hello. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So this is it's the same slide where I had mentioned already that the course fee only for today will be 17,700. I think I'm done. So Rohan, you can take up the rest of the questions, and then I think we can wind up.
yeah, thanks. Thanks, Ajay. Okay, guys. So out of the questions now, as stated by Ajay, you can contact Raju Giri for further the updates and to enroll for the course. Now, the thing is that now I'll just take over and take the questions from you. So they were saying, what's the starting salary after AWS training? So they were saying it all depends upon the company or the country you're in right now. But if I talk about the United States, the average salary of an certified AWS architect is minimum. I think it's minimum 90,000 grand or dollars per year. Minimum. That's the minimum one. So you get more than 100,000 US dollars per year as a package. If you're certified AWS architect. Okay, now as I said before, it all depends upon your job profile, your country, and the company that you'll be working. So the thing is that it's quite promising. Rajesh, the tenure of the course is it ranges between 30 to 36 hours. So basically, on an average, the duration of the training is 30 hours. It can be split in weekdays or the weekends, depending upon that which program or the batch you have enrolled to. So the tenure I'm talking about is 30 to 36 hours. On an average, is 30 hours. Pratap, yes, you get the completion certificate from your vendor, Child Learning, after you complete the program from us. Subrata, the certification that we offer to is from Child Learning as a vendor, but that does not include AWS certification. AWS certification is a different thing. Sandeep is saying, can the edge servers be used as any service apart from caching? Any use case? Sandeep, edge servers are also used for Route 53 DNS servers. I used Route 53. Route 53 also uses the edge servers behind the scenes. Shankar saying, what is the Elastic Load Balancer? Elastic Load Balancer is a service that takes the traffic from the source and distributes the traffic to a group of servers running behind the scenes. Anil, your question is that what are the roles and the responsibilities of the AWS solutions architect? So the roles and responsibilities include planning, designing, implementation, and deployment. So you have to plan the infrastructure, you have to deploy it from scratch, design it before, migration, everything. So you have to start from the planning, budgeting, deployment, management. So basically, the architect is mainly involved in the designing and the implementation part. Saravan then saying, where do we go hybrid? So Saravan, the thing is that, for example, let's suppose that you're working for a company named Accenture. I'm just take an example right now. Like today, Accenture wants to go to the cloud. Now, a big company has already invested millions of dollars in setting up the data centers. It's not an easy thing to shut down the data center in which a lot of time and effort and investment has been spent, right? So any company which already has their data centers running, if today they decide to move to the cloud, they don't shut down the data center in just one single day. They slowly and gradually move to the cloud, right? So what they do is that they take the hybrid approach. So what they do is that instead of just decommissioning the entire data center or shutting down the entire data center, they also start using the public cloud, and slowly and gradually in stages, they start moving the infrastructure from private to public cloud. So a hybrid cloud is used in scenarios where a company wants to go public, but they don't want to shut down the private in just one single day or in a matter of few weeks. So Anil, I've already stated the roles and responsibilities of the architect. Saurav is saying, what's the main difference between Azure and AWS? Azure is a Microsoft product and AWS is the Amazon product. That's the main difference. Varun is saying, is there any upcoming session you are planning? So Varun, the only upcoming session we're planning is the courses, right? So as stated by Ajay, you can get enrolled to get more knowledge on different topics. So Rajesh is saying only this course material will be sufficient for doing AWS certification. Rajesh, the course material that we offer to you is sufficient. So when you get enrolled to Child Learning, we give you access to some course materials, okay, and that is sufficient. Kanaya, the certification fee of AWS is $150. If you talk about the AWS Architect certification, it is $150. Costa is saying auto mounting of EFS is possible? Yes, it is. Saurabh is saying, after this training, which certification should I go for? You have to go for AWS Architect. AWS Solutions Architect Associate. AWS Solutions Architect Associate certification. One is saying, what's the best way to learn about the cloud architect? The best way is that, first of all, you get enrolled to any of the programs to get the guidance from an instructor. And the second best way is to do the self-learning. I would say self-study. Of course, the instructor will give you access to the contents and the knowledge. And of course, you have to just go through them in your free time. And the other way is that you have to practice a lot. You have to practice. So the main thing is that you have to do a lot of hands-on. So the best way to learn about the cloud architect is that do more and more hands-on. Davis is saying that what's the difference between the AWS certificate and Shine certificate? So Davis, the certificate that we give from Shine Learning is the certificate that an educational provider will give to you, right? So Shine Learning will say that, okay, they have taken the training from us. But the AWS certificate is the one that you have to give by giving an exam. You have to give an exam. So after you are done with the Shine Learning course, then after that, we prepare you during that period. We prepare you for the AWS certification. You have to give the exam, which is of 130 minutes. You have to go to a testing center. You have to give the exam. The cost of the exam is $150 that goes to the Amazon Web Services. And you have to clear the exam. The passing score is 72%. Okay, guys, one thing. Because a lot of people are talking about the certification. So the certification that we would be going for in this through this curriculum would be, let me show you that. If you just go to this website, aws.amazon.com/certification, let me just copy and paste this link for you on the chat window so that you don't miss it out. So if you just go to this web page, if you click on this web page, the certification that we are focusing upon is this one. AWS Certified Associate, this one. Solutions Architect, this one. Where you can see my cursor, and this is the one. AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate. This is the one where we are mainly focusing upon. So the curriculum that's included as a part of this this course that we offer by Shine Learning. This is the main certification that we prepare you for. Of course, we prepare you for the give you the hands-on. You tend to get some real hands-on and experience, but this is the certification that we'll be focusing upon. Fine. Now there are multiple certifications. You can explore this page to understand the relevance of other certifications, but this certificate is one which is very high in demand. Okay, so you can just go through it to get some more information on this thing. Sharish is saying, what's the outage percentage of cloud service? See, there's no percentage of outage, but if I talk about the AWS, they claim to have 99% availability. So the outage percent is 1%. Nimesh is saying, is the data center in private cloud owned by itself? Yes. And how it's different from legacy data center? Same thing. It's the same thing. Which AWS certification I can attempt after this training? So sort of the same thing. AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate. Shankar is saying, any examples of PaaS? So Shankar, if I show you, if you see my screen right now, if I go to the services, this service right now, which comes under compute, there's a service called Elastic Beanstalk. This is the best example I can give you, which is a platform as a service. It's mainly used by developers. They don't have to look into what has to be deployed behind the scenes. They can quickly deploy an application on the fly using this platform. Okay, so this is the best example of PaaS, or the platform as a service. Tulsi Ram is saying, as I'm working in IT infrastructure side currently, can I also experience into development automation, please? So Tulsi Ram, the thing is that automation is a part of this course, but not the development. So for the development, you have to take some separate course. Anil is saying AWS Solutions Architect is the only technical. It also includes management. Yes, some of the management is also included as a part of it. Karthik is saying, hi there, separate part of cloud governance. Governance is a part of the is also one of the part of the courses. Sayed is saying, thanks for your today's lecture. You're welcome, Sayed. Anil is saying, do we need to have more knowledge on servers, internet, and hardware? As I said before, you have to have 6 months of knowledge, or I would say experience in IT or software domain. That's it. Rakesh is saying all AWS key tools knowledge are required. So Rakesh, I'm not talking about what the key tools you're talking about, but we mainly focus upon 15 to 20 tools in this course. Tulsinam, there's no exam code for it. We don't have any codes over here. It is only the AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate. No, Anil, you don't need any programming skills. Raju is saying, I hope AWS certification has different types of certification with this codes. Which AWS certification can be done? What about other certifications? Rajesh, as said before, this curriculum that we are proposing, this focuses upon the AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate. Other certifications they belong to different streams. You can just go to the web page to get more information. Okay, so I've just copied and pasted the link for you. You can just go through that. Tulsiram, you're giving your phone number. I'm interested to join. Please call me. So Tulsiram, the thing is that we have shown you the phone number and the email ID of the contact person. You can contact him. Of course, someone from the child learning will also get back to you. So what I will do is that I just copy and paste the contact information of Raju Giri so that you can contact him if you're interested after the session. So I'm just copying and pasting this entire information on the chat window. You can have a look. So please copy and paste that on a notepad, because once this session gets over, this entire information will be wiped out. So I've copied and pasted the contact information of Raju Giri with his phone number and the email ID. So please use that just in case if you're interested after this session gets over. You can contact this individual to go further. Rakesh is saying, for migration app into AWS, what is needed? So Rakesh, in order for the migration, you have to make use of some migration tools. And here we are. These are different migration tools we use. You can see over here, migration and transfer. So these are the migration tools we use to migrate the on-premises components to the cloud. That's what we use. Anush, the validity for the certification is 2 years. Rakesh saying, order management service can be deployed? Yes. Milind, yes, we can have the feature concept, we can have the VPC concept created and deployed. Sorry about that. Okay, so I think so we have. Can you saying, can you tell me the most downtime public cloud provider? Can you don't have the exact statistics? Every cloud provider have some kind of downtime, but I don't have the exact statistics that which cloud provider has the most downtime. Rajesh, I've already explained the EC2. Unfortunately, we can't go further because we are almost we already 50 minutes. We have consumed 50 minutes more than what is required. You can just go through these slides or go through the recorded session. We'll give the link afterwards to understand this stuff. And you don't need the programming language for this course. You're welcome, Anil. We're just saying I have no prerequisite knowledge Which certification I will prefer for it? This one. There was a saying, what are the system requirements to learn and practice? You don't need any system requirements. A decent amount, any decent laptop will work, because at the end you'll be using this web page. You just have to have a browser on your computer to get started, right? So you don't need any high-end computer or laptop to get started or to practice. Ramesh is saying how many hours per day, depending upon which batch you have enrolled to, it's 2 to 3 hours. Karthik is saying, how is logging and monitoring managed? Karthik, we make use of two services, CloudWatch and CloudTrail for that. Kanay is saying, can I go for SysOps? It's your choice. Anil, I can't comment upon the minimum salary because it all depends upon company to company and your experience. Purushottam, today, what I can say is that more than 150 people joined in. Sales saying, I have a question, can we get the certificate for this? For this session, no. But yes, for the course, yes, you'll get the certificate from Channel Learning. Rahul Singh, can you send me the all AWS curriculum details for solution architect level to my Gmail? So Rahul, the thing is that some of us will contact you with all the curriculum stuff included as a part of this thing. So guys, that's it. I am extremely sorry I can't take all the questions because we already have exceeded the time that was given to us. I would like to thank you all for your time and patience. Thank you so much for listening to me, and best of luck for the future. I hope to see you all in the upcoming sessions with Child Learning. We strive to give you the best possible experience to learn something new that will help you to propel further in the future. Thank you so much once again. Best of luck, and I hope to see you in one of the sessions with Child Learning. Thank you so much once again. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye now, guys.
Thank you, Rohan. Thank you, Rohan.
Thanks, Ajay. Thank you.